Prices have gone up everywhere, but some things have become ridiculously expensive. They're no longer worth it to buy. And some of these things, the price increase has been sneaky. Today, I'm sharing 10 things that I no longer buy because I consider them to be too expensive. Hi, friends, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Jen. In today's video, I'm going to go over 10 of the things that I no longer buy. They no longer make sense to me. They eat your money up in ways you don't even notice. Let's begin with the first one. This might seem a little obvious, but coffee shop drinks. Specialty coffee shop drinks can cost, I don't know, between $5 and $10. They can be pretty expensive. Even if you were going to go to a convenience store and buy coffee every day, and it was, even moderately priced at $2, if you bought one every day, that's going to be $60 a month. That's a lot of money that you can spend somewhere else. For half the price, you can buy yourself a bag of high quality coffee and make coffee yourself at home. And you wouldn't have to sacrifice quality for a good cup of coffee. The second item is greeting cards. They used to be like $1, $1.50, maybe $2. Now, surprisingly, they've gotten up in cost depending on how big they are and whatnot. They're like between $6 and $10 for a greeting card that the person's going to look at one time. And I don't know, I keep some on my wall. Maybe I keep them on my wall for a while, but it's not something that is a high dollar. It shouldn't be a high dollar item. A lot of people aren't even going to look at them. And if you put money in it, they're probably going to just take the money out and not even look at the card. One way to get around this is to perhaps buy a blank set of cards, like a pack of blank cards, and just write in whatever you want yourself, or you can make a card if you need to use a card for something. The next item is fast food, takeout, food delivery services, these types of things. Fast food used to be cheap and fast. Now it is out of control. I think someone was saying that where they were, it was something like $15 to $18 for a McDonald's meal. That's insane. Insane for food that's not even really all that good. If you can replace your takeout, food delivery, or fast food, whatever you get, if you can replace that with a meal you make at home, and even if you make a large meal and batch it up into smaller portions, that's what I do. That saves me a ton of money. Bottled water is the next item. I know it's easy and convenient when you're on the road. It's easy to stop in a store and just buy a bottle of water. But have you looked at the prices on them? They're a dollar at least, if not more, for just water. It's cheaper in the long run if you were to buy a water bottle and refill it and bring it with you. This fifth item is what I used to do a lot. It was so easy and convenient for me to buy these things. And that item is pre-cut vegetables and fruits that come in convenient packages where all you have to do is just, go in and buy the pre-cut thing, and then you can just have it for lunch. If you look at how much it costs to buy pre-cut items as opposed to buying the whole thing and cutting it yourself, you are definitely paying for the convenience in that item. I used to do this all the time, but then I decided that I was going to be a little less lazy and buy large packages of whatever the food item is that I wanted and cut it up myself and put it in containers, throw it in the fridge, and all I've got is, work on that one time, and then I have all of those packages I can pull out and bring for lunch, for snacks or whatever. It's really not that much of an inconvenience for me to cut up veggies and stuff and have them already ready to go and already portioned for a quick snack or lunch. Let me know in the comments below, do you guys still buy some of these things? The next item is streaming subscription services. So this would be your Netflix, your Hulu, your HBO, your Disney Plus. It feels like every time you turn around, when you want to watch one particular show, you're on one streaming service. But if you want to watch another one, you have to go to another streaming service. And if you want to watch the football game, you've got to get a different streaming service. How many streaming services do you have? And is it worth it? And you may do okay, I'm going to do a trial with this and then binge watch this and then go on to this and do a trial and binge watch it and then this and this and rotate your subscriptions. But how many of these streaming subscriptions have you forgotten and are you still paying for? Another thing to ask yourself is it really worth it to pay for a subscription to watch this thing? I mean, I remember back in the day, you used to be able to get regular football games over the freaking air. Is there another way that you can watch these things without having to pay for them? Another item that has gotten expensive and it's sneaking up is buying brand name versus buying the store brand. And depending on what the item is, it is made in the same exact food plant. If you're talking, a can of Campbell's soup versus a can of store brand soup, a lot of times they're made in the same factory. They just have a different label on the can. I worked in a food plant and we used to make cheese for various companies, and it was the exact same recipe that we would use for our name brand. But you go in the store and you buy the off brand, it's so much cheaper than the name brand. Another thing, and I'm guilty of this, is disposable cleaning supplies. So I'm not necessarily talking about your paper towels. Yeah, I still buy those a little bit. I try to not use them. I try to buy washcloths that are washable now. But above and beyond that, there's all of these mop things where you can buy the disposable mop head, the wipes, the mop wipes and things like that. Buying things like the Clorox wipes, the like the Swiffer thing where you have the mop thing. Not only are you buying the paper thing that you use on the floor and then throw out when you're done mopping the floor, you're also buying a bottle of the cleaning solution that goes on the thing. And I'm guilty of this to a certain extent. I do have a Swiffer vacuum thing and I do have a Swiffer mop. With the mop thing, I'm now using a spray bottle of cleaner and spraying the floor and then mopping with the mop thing. And I try to buy the off-brand pads that go on those because the brand name ones are overly expensive. But in general, disposable cleaning supplies are just out of control. And really, if you think about it, even like the disposable, like the Swiffer vacuum thingy, I've had that for years. And at this point in time, I can pretty much only vacuum one of my rooms with it before the battery dies. That doesn't even compare. If I have to replace that thing, I can vacuum all day with my regular vacuum. I can mop all day with a sponge mop and just rinse and wash the sponge off. That is just too much of an expense. And it's come upon us sneaky. It's sneaky how the prices have gone up and how these items have come into play. Another item that has sneaked up on us, and this is pretty sneaky, is subscription boxes. So you pay to subscribe for these things, and they'll send things to you monthly, be it dog toys and supplies and treats and things like that, or there are food boxes that people can buy, and you fill out a profile and they pick the things that they want to send you and they'll send you those. And of course, you can send it back if you don't like it. You have a specific amount of time just to send it back if you don't like it. I have an old coworker that used to get some kind of a clothing subscription box where every month she would get some random items of clothing, and more often than not, she was returning the damn thing every single month than actually keeping it. And they they tell you, well, you have a certain amount of time to return it. You can keep some of the items, you can keep all of them, or you can keep none of them. It's very similar to back in, I think it was the 80s, where you could buy the CDs or the tapes, whatever era it was, and you would every month you would get a tape sent to you, and if you forgot to send it back within a certain amount of time, you had to pay for it. Remember those? More often than not, you get a random tape that they want to send you, and you don't even like the band, and you forget to send it back, and well, there you go. Um, now you owe them whatever the price is for the tape or CD that you just got. And there was movies that did the same thing. Subscription boxes, they are sneaky. How many of you guys use those? This last item, almost everybody does, and it is one of the most costly things that you can do, which is buying things just because they're on sale. I don't know how many times I've heard conversations of people talking and they said, well, it was on sale. It was cheap. It was on sale. It was cheap. You aren't even going to buy the item. It might have been cheap. It might have been $10 for these pair of pants because they were on sale, but you weren't even planning on buying the item to begin with. How is it cheap when you spend money on something you weren't even going to buy? You're only buying it because it's on sale. And the reason behind this is fear of missing out, or FOMO, they call it. It's on sale for a limited amount of time. You better get it now because you might need it. Does this resonate with any of you? Many of these purchases feel natural until we stop and think how much more money it's costing us for buying these things and doing this behavior, especially the last one. How much money are you spending buying something just because it was on sale when you never would have planned to buy it in the first place? This is why I have stopped buying these things, and I pay very much attention to what I spend when I buy in the store. Being frugal isn't about never spending any money at all. It's about buying things that you really want, that you're really going to use, that make sense to you. If frugality and saving money are goals that you are trying to achieve, please consider subscribing to this channel. I regularly talk about frugality, minimalization, decluttering, and of course, building wealth. I would love to have you here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.